Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Art of MMA. I'm Mike Ginn. That's the mechanic, Brandon Cuttino. Back in action this week. Missed a week of action because Brandon was under the weather last week. Thankfully, he's feeling good, so I'm sure him and I will go toe-to-toe, clashing as usual. We didn't get to make our picks last week, but we'll talk about that briefly during the intro. This week, we're going to be talking about Bellator 275 and UFC Vegas 49. Bobby Green and Makhachev in action in that one. We got Mousasi in action in Bellator. We'll talk about all that. We're going to talk about some Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz stuff. We'll talk about Tuivasa and Paddy Pimblett, Jake Paul. We'll break down all of that stuff. But first, you know what time it is. Go ahead and support the show. Head over to FightersFirst.shop. Get all the latest and greatest merch. Get all of our mechanic collection. Get all of our British Bulldog stuff. We got boxing, MMA, kickboxing, all that great stuff in there. So go support the show, support the brand, support the network, FightersFirst.shop. And as my guy Danhausen would say, we like the monies. We likes the monies. Very good, very evil. We likes the monies. That said, man, Brandon, how you doing? You feeling much better this week?
Yeah, man, doing well, man. It's good to be back, talking some MMA with you. So that's always a good time.
I feel bad for you, bro. Last week was the week you could have stuck it to me. I went 0-3 the week before. You could have been like, I told you. And I thought I was crazy for a second because we missed last week after the Robert Whittaker-Izzy fight. And I was like, I thought Whittaker won. And a lot of people immediately came out like, Izzy won easy, Izzy won this. And then you started seeing some fighters like Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, and them come out and say they thought Whittaker won too. I rewatched the fight. I still think Whittaker won 3 rounds, but everybody seems to have a different opinion outside of that first round. First round was clearly Izzy. The last 4 rounds is just really what you put more weight into the takedowns. Izzy really kind of cruised with calf kicks for a while. Like he was kind of just being very strategic.
Yeah.
So it really is just a matter of how you score a fight. I don't think Whittaker was robbed by any stretch of the means. I think Izzy could have easily won that fight. I think Whittaker could have easily won that fight. I think people would have been upset on both sides no matter what, because that's just the game. But I'll take that L. I don't think it was as bad as Brandon tried to make me feel immediately afterwards. But it is what it is. I think he was just more talking his ish because I did go 0-3. He's catching up a little bit. He's still behind in the standings. We'll see what happens this week. I would have done very well last week, Brandon, if we had been talking about Fight Night 201, Vegas 48, because I was definitely on Jamal Hill and Kyle Dawkins. What you think of that fight last weekend?
Hey, man, it was good. It was a good fight, man. It was a good main event. Man, Jamal Hill did his thing. He kind of was reading what Johnny Walker was doing. That's why he had switched his stance, and then boom, he caught him with that right hand. And also too, it did help that Johnny Walker kind of did step into it as well. So like I said, the main event
was also good. Caught him on that ground too. Like, yeah, the right hand stunned him falling down, but then that first punch that came through on the ground is the one that put.
I mean, he was already out from that first punch when he hit the ground.
There was no recovering after that second.
Yeah. But like I said, hey man, be on the lookout for Jamal Hill. I know you've been on the Jamal Hill train for a while. So hey man, he got a good win. So let's see who's next for him. I kind of am hoping that it is going to be Ozdemir, even though and Ozdemir did call him out as well on Twitter. So we'll see it. So we'll see if that is the next fight for him.
My biggest concern about Jamal Hill is grappling, right? Like a Paul Craig or somebody like that got him. Like you put him in with another striker, I think Jamal Hill can go toe-to-toe with any striker in the UFC, especially in that division at 205. You put him in a grappling, like you put him in there with a Glover Teixeira. Glover's just going to wrestle and take him down and kind of smother him. I haven't seen Jamal be able to really stop that. He couldn't stop it against Paul Craig. Paul Craig dislocated his arm. Mm-hmm. He struggled in the past with some fighters like that where he still kind of found a way to come out and win. But a lot of times UFC's been matching him up against other strikers, and if you go on toe-to-toe with him, his hands are vicious. He's going to put you to sleep. Of course, also Kyle Dawkins got that last second your Bravo choke, Darce choke type situation. Kyle Dawkins got that right at the buzzer against Pickett. So some good action. Also, Jim Miller turning back the clock against Nick Mata.
Jim Miller, Jersey stand up, baby. Always Jim Miller out here. Spartan.
Jersey strong. What do you think about the possibility of him going against Luozon one more time or Cerrone one more time? Because he said he wants the winner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did say that because I think he wants one of those guys, for his 40th fight, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be his 40th fight in the UFC. So I think he wants another name, somebody again his around his age, somebody of his status. I'm down for it. I think I would probably rather see him go up against Lozon than a Cerrone, because I still remember when he did fight Cerrone, and it was head kick city, and I don't want to see that again for Jim Miller.
Yeah, but I think Cerrone's just not what he used to be. Since that Conor fight, he's been kind of really downhill. Age might be catching up to him, or maybe it's just body wearing down, whatever the case is. I haven't seen the same Cowboy in a while. It might be time for Cowboy. I've said it a couple times. I think it's time for Cowboy to kind of ride off in the sunset. I think him and Joe Lozon is a good matchup because they're both in the same boat.
Yeah.
And then also in that card, you saw your boy Buckley come out with the guy from the weapons technique stuff, you know what I'm talking about?
Dale Brown.
Dale Brown. He was in his corner. He got the big win. Very close fight, split decision. I think Rozic just kind of ran out of gas, especially late in the fight. And then your girl Jessie Clark did not get the win. Jessie just did not do what she
did not. Sorry, man. She got caught in that armbar. I was really looking forward to seeing what she was going to do in this fight, but those are them breaks.
And before we get on to what we're talking about today, real quick in Bellator, man, Logan Storley he figured it out. He had that tough loss, and we didn't know where he was going to go, especially after the Amosov loss. He's figured it out. He dominated Gracie. Like, that was a good win.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, like to me, it just didn't look like Gracie was ready to go. And it really seemed like he got going to like the third round, and by that time it was kind of the fight was basically like almost over. Like Storley just kind of came out in the first two rounds and just dominated. And then, like saying that's kind of when Gracie kind of woke up. And saying he just walked Gracie down, and he got that hand raised.
And man, I hope Chance Rincutre recovers, because man, that was a vicious break. His ribs. Like
I've been saying, man, body shots in fights. That spinning back kick to those ribs, done deal.
Man, that you seen the X-rays online, like that was vicious.
He had 5 broken ribs, and I think like a partial like torn lung or something like that. So yeah, man. I mean, speedy recovery to him though. I hope he gets well soon.
And shout out to Brennan Ward, had a big comeback victory, big knockout. And real quick, I want to get your who won. Davion Franklin, Soma had the split decision. I thought Soma won. Who'd you have winning?
I think I did have it towards Franklin. I think I did lean towards Franklin.
All right, that's one of those tough split decisions. I wasn't mad at the decision. Wasn't an MMA judging thing, but it was, And then we can't not mention Deanna Bennett, right?
Exactly, man. Shout out to my girl Deanna Bennett. You know me, I love me some vitamin D.
Vitamin D, yeah. She's on a streak. She's definitely on a hot streak. She's definitely becoming one of the top women in Bellator.
Yeah.
Like you have Cyborg and Kat Zingano and all their drama. Obviously, Arlene Blencow in the heavier weight classes. But for lower weight classes, Deanna Bennett's putting it on. She's putting it on. She's somebody to keep an eye out. She's going to be probably fighting for a title very soon. So,
and another one, and I mean, she is a transplant. She originally is from Utah, but hey, Jersey, stand up again. She's hanging out in Central Jersey as well.
Well, she's won 2 in a row since that Liz Carmouche loss. I mean, the losses she has, Liz Carmouche, Miranda Maverick, Karina Rodriguez, none of those are bad losses, right? Kelly Cobo, like those are all like veterans that have been around. Miranda Maverick on the rise. So
hey, she does have a win over Juliana Pena though, back in the day.
She does, and that, I mean, way back in the day.
Yeah.
You're talking about like 2013 back in the day.
Hey, man, a win's a win, baby. It's still there.
I mean, shit. She beat Michelle Old. She beat Jennifer Maya. I mean, she's been fighting for a long time, and she's getting her props now. So congrats to Deanna Bennett. I love watching her fight. Dan Bakley had an interview with her on Cage My IQ. That was pretty awesome a while back. Yeah. Check all that out. I know you guys are tired of hearing us ramble. Let's get to this show. First topic up today. Nate Diaz a couple weeks ago made some noise, as Nate Diaz does. We never know what's true or false. I guess maybe now even a month ago or maybe even longer now, Dustin Poirier said he had a signed contract ready to go for Nate Diaz. Date to be determined. Nate Diaz says, I don't have any contract. You're full of crap. But let's get it done because I want to fight this guy. 2 questions for you, Brandon. 1, will it ever happen? Are we going to see Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier? And 2, if Nate Diaz does this fight, he says he's retiring afterwards. Will he really retire?
So first question is, will this fight happen? I say yes when the UFC wants it to happen. As of right now, they're kind of booked up. They're like until they need a big fight. So like I said, they're basically booked up until May. Like we saw with after the Adesanya Whitaker fight, Izzy said, "Hey, I'll be your main event for June." So maybe he'll be on that card, and then that way you can get maybe Poirier and Diaz on the International Fight Week card, July 2nd in Vegas.
Well, even you said it. I can't remember what episode you said it in, but you said because Nate has 1 fight on his contract left. Mm-hmm. You said they were holding him off. Like they weren't just going to use him up. They wanted to hold on to him for a minute. I didn't believe you at the time, but I believe you now. Like they're definitely holding this one back.
Exactly. So like I said, like to me, like I said, until the UFC really needs a big fight, they're in a pinch, like they don't got a headline going on. That's when I can see them really, really pushing for the fight. Like I said, Poirier wants it. Diaz does want it. Poirier's in no rush, man. Like I said, he has his hot sauce business, man. He also
just lost to Oliveira not too long ago. Like it's still fresh.
Yeah. So like I said, there's not going on there. And then also too, I heard like Masvidal even said that he would rematch Nate Diaz again. So I mean, there's always people chirping for a Nate Diaz fight. And then to answer your second question, though,
because they like the money.
Will he retire? I will say he will retire from MMA, but I still say he wants that Jake Paul fight. He wants that money from Jake Paul. So as soon as he's done from the UFC and he's a free agent, he's booking a fight with Jake Paul, and he'll take that money.
So there's a couple points to make. This is the last fight on Nate Diaz's contract. He'll be a free agent afterwards. Obviously, it won't be a title fight, no champions clause like we talked about in the past. That's it. He fights his fight, he's done. Dustin Poirier, the other fight people always keep talking about is Conor once Conor's leg is healed up. Dustin kind of just shut the door on that. He had originally said he's the one that started this fire because most people assumed it was done, and Dustin's like, I'll fight him again. I don't care. Now he's kind of like had time to like relax, calm down. He said he would only do it if the money was gigantic. If the money's not crazy, he's not fighting Conor again. He's done with that chapter. He's moved on. I won't close that door because I know Dana could very easily back up the truck for that one and get a lot of money out of another payday for that one. It's just people can say how easy a win it would be for Dustin all they want. They're still going to watch. Conor is must see whether he wins or loses. He's long since passed, I think, at this point, contention. But you're going to want to watch him. This just is what it is. And then the third point is the other note of like who Dustin Poirier could fight is Colby Covington. And he said he and Colby will never fight in the UFC because if he fights that dude, it's going to be in the streets and he's going to jail. He doesn't want
site, baby. It's on site with them.
It's on site. He doesn't want rules. He doesn't want to talk about it. He's not going to spill the tea, as they say nowadays. See, look, Brandon, I'm talking like the kids. Spill the tea. He's not going to spill the tea. He's not going to spill the gossip. He's not going to talk about it. But know that it's bad enough that it's on site and he's going to jail. He doesn't want it in the UFC cage. He doesn't want rules. He doesn't want a ref to pull him off. It's done. Like he supported Masvidal 100%. He wants Masvidal to bury the dude. They're obviously boys and training partners. But yeah, Covington fight would never happen. So the only fight really for Poirier left right now is Diaz. Whether it's at 155 or 170, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be at 170 because Poirier is willing to do whatever it takes to do this fight, and Diaz isn't going to make any concessions if he doesn't have to. So he'll be comfortable at 170. Maybe they do a catch weight like this weekend's fights at 160. Who knows? Dana's been breaking more rules lately as he goes to make these fights. Who knows? I do think it will lead to him retiring from MMA, like you said, and I think it will lead to either Jake Paul, Triller Triad's another one. Some of these exhibition fights, the Logan Paul, Mayweather type stuff. I could see Nate Diaz taking a couple more paydays. But I don't think he'll ever fight in MMA again. But we've been wrong before, and if Bellator backs up the truck for him, I wouldn't be surprised to see him hop over there and take a couple easy paydays as well, because Scott Coker does tend to overpay. He's kind of the Eric Bischoff of MMA. He will overpay for a name. You saw it with Yoel Romero. he'll bring
a
name.
But is it really overpaying? Or is it the money that they should be getting and they're getting underpaid in the UFC?
All right, fair enough.
Hey.
Fair enough. But that's a subject for a couple more segments. Hold that one. Hold that thought. So that's our thoughts on Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. We both think it will happen probably in the summertime. I think both guys are in a rush to kind of get it done, but I don't think they're in a rush to actually fight. So as long as the deal gets done, we could probably see it sooner than later. And like Brandon said, there's a loaded cards coming up. You got Masvidal and Covington. You got the Jacksonville card, which we did tell you all was moving to Jacksonville. We told y'all with Peter Yan and Sterling and all that stuff.
Volkanovski zombie.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic with Max being like able to be a backup. There was a whole bunch of drama with that, but talk about that another day. We're gonna move on. A couple weeks ago, we saw Tai Tuivasa go in, take Derek Lewis's best shots. I mean, Derek loaded up and put bombs on Tuivasa. He would have dropped any other heavyweight. I don't care if it was Ngannou. I don't care if it was Curtis Blades. I don't care if it was Stipe, like Cormier. If he had hit somebody with those bombs that he hit Tuivasa with, that game would have been over. The fight would have been over. But not only did Tuivasa take those shots, it almost fired him up to where he came back firing out, and then he took the Black Beast out. He took Derek Lewis out. Now, that leads to a bigger subject. Obviously, Tai Tuivasa jumped all the way up in the rankings to number 3 from I think 11 or something like that, or 12.
Yeah, he was ranked 11. It was 11. It was number 11 versus number 3.
Yeah, and Derek Lewis dropped, I think, to number 4 or 5. He's jumped all the way up to number 3, and justifiably so, right? Like, Tuivasa has been winning like entertaining wise, like for a long time. He's had a couple hiccups in a row, but he seems to have figured it out. With the upheaval in the heavyweight division, we don't know what's up with Ngannou. We don't know if he's coming back. Most people think he will. We don't know for sure. Cyril Gane just lost to Ngannou. Curtis Blades and was it Rosenstruck, I think, are getting ready to fight. Mm-hmm. You have Volkov sitting down there. You have a bunch of guys who are kind of in the rankings, but they're not really contenders right now. And my question really is Tai Tuivasa the future of the heavyweight division? Because he's obviously clearly one of the most entertaining guys in the division. He's putting people to sleep. He's showing he can take a shot. Brandon, what do you think the future is for this guy? Will he have a title shot sooner than later?
So the answer to your question, is he the future of the heavyweight division? The answer is no. He is.
And who is?
The future is Tom Aspinall, who's gonna fight Volkov in March. That's the future of the heavyweight division. Now, like I said, Tai Tuivasa is an entertaining guy. He's an entertaining fighter. He's always gonna be there, just like Derek Lewis. You know, when those guys are coming, bombs are being thrown. He's always gonna be entertaining. But I gotta see him versus a Curtis Blades. How does he handle a wrestler? Can he really handle Cyril Gane? You know, like say we've seen just how you talk about with Jamal Hill when he's there with another striker. Hey, hands are flying. It's 50-50. Somebody's gonna go out. But can he handle a wrestler? Can he handle a submission guy? We haven't seen that. So that's what I'm saying. Like I said, do I think he'll get a title shot next fight? Probably not. Like I said, we gotta see him against a Curtis Blades, somebody who maybe challenge him on the ground to really see if he is the future.
So let's talk a couple scenarios that are actually happening right now. Like you talk Aspinall versus Volkov. There's a lot of rumors of Stipe versus John Jones for an interim title. I don't believe them, but it's possible. They have both basically said they do it. Will Dana do it? I don't know. Will John Jones stay out of trouble? I don't know. Curtis Blades and Rosenstruck are booked together, I believe. Dawkins just lost. You got Aspinall on the rise, but he is still ranked down in number 11. And Tuivasa just knocked off the number 3 heavyweight, who's now number 5, Derek Lewis. Out of the people ready to take a title shot, if Francis Ngannou re-signs with the UFC, and if Francis Ngannou is looking for an opponent after his knee heals up, say next January or whatever the case is, and we know Tuivasa is really ready to fight anytime. He's never said no to a fight. He really is the new Derek Lewis. I mean, that's a good kind of comparison. But who else in front of him is ready to is is there and ready to take the title shot. His book is wide open right now. I think he could probably fight Cyril Gane if we're waiting on, Ngannou to come back anytime soon. Cyril Gane sitting there waiting for a fight to get his mojo back, get his swagger back. That would be a great test for Tuivasa, somebody that can move around, do different things like leg kicks and everything else. Mm-hmm. Don't sleep on Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis was throwing leg kicks. Derek Lewis threw head kicks. Derek Lewis was throwing a lot at Tuivasa and landed a lot at Tuivasa. I thought Tuivasa was done a couple times, and it's like he got mad. He like hulked up. He's like incredible. He's like, bam, bam.
Clinching elbows.
Yeah, and so if you want somebody like immediately, a younger guy like Dawkins could be available. But man, like Dawkins just came off a loss. It's like,
but he came off a loss to who? Derek Lewis.
Yeah, but he just beat Derek Lewis, so that doesn't make sense matching him up with the guy who just beat Derek Lewis. Yeah. So Dawkins is kind of like in that weird position of who's next. Him and maybe Tabora might be a good fight. But man, like I think Tai Tuivasa is really in no man's land right now, waiting for a fight because he did jump up so far in the rankings. But at the same time, I love watching this guy fight. I do think he could be the future of the heavyweight division. You've seen Brock Lesnar. You've seen Cain Velasquez. You've seen a lot of guys come in there. Maybe they don't have a long run, but they have a run up top. I think he could be one of those guys. We don't know what he'd do against the Curtis Blades. We don't know what he'd do against a wrestler like that. He does have relatively good takedown defense. A couple times I've seen people try to take him down, but Derek Lewis did take him down. Derek Lewis can take him down. Curtis Blades most certainly can take him down. But we also saw him get back up against Derek Lewis. So I think he definitely could be the future. I think it would be fun to watch. I don't know where Tuivasa's career is going, but Bam Bam, must see in my book. And I'm definitely waiting for his next fight, whoever that might be. Next subject is kind of a controversial one, depending on who you look at. So Paddy Pimblett came out, kind of bashed Jake Paul and this whole fighter pay thing, said Jake Paul's trying to be like a martyr, but he's really just trying to pad his own pockets. The more controversy he makes, the more people that watch his fights and he makes more money. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But there's two things that kind of come to my thought, because Paddy Pimblett isn't the only UFC fighters to say this. I've heard Colby Covington say some things. I've heard Diaz say some things. I've heard a number of guys come out and say that Jake Paul is really in the Jake Paul business. He's not trying to help anybody. God, I know I'm going to sound like a homer. And there's a reason why Jake Paul is my profile picture for this episode. I finally did it, Brandon. You'll see it later, but I finally did it. But this is what I'm saying. Paddy Pimblett's nose is a little brown right now. Mm-hmm. Because he's kissing Dana's ass. Mm-hmm. The same guy that sat there and held out forever before he finally came to the UFC now all of a sudden has his nose up Dana's ass. Because guess what? Whether it's in Jake Paul's best interest or not, the conversation is now getting more public. You're by default going to get more money because somebody like Jake Paul is making and putting pressure on companies like Endeavor, who, guess what? Jake Paul and his investors just invested a lot of money in. So now they're on the board. And now they're going to sit there and pressure UFC to put more fighter money in fighters' pockets. You think Jake Paul is full of shit. And I don't think Jake Paul is definitely looking out for anybody but Jake Paul. I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, Jake Paul has gone out of his way to promote a fighter like Amanda Soriano, right? Like he sat in there making her a household name when she was one of the most unrecognized but most talented female boxers there is. You're talking about a woman that's done MMA. He's done boxing for a long time, been very, very successful at everything she's done. Her and her sister have been doing things for a long time. And Amanda is like, she's like the next Clarissa Shields type boxer.
She's pound for pound top 3.
Yeah, she's up there. If she beats Katie Taylor, it's no stopping who she is. And why do people know who she is right now?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Signed her to MVP Promotions, boosted her up. He's been putting her on the cover of everything. Did Jake Paul have to do that? Is Jake doing it for an ulterior motive? I don't know, and I don't care. The bottom line is she's getting successful because of it. Is he doing things to promote his fights? Maybe, but I don't care, because at the end of the day, you guys are prize fighters. You guys are paid to fight, and he's going to eventually put more money in your pockets just by noise and pressure. The UFC has never paid more fighters more money because they wanted to. It's always been somebody like a Ken Shamrock or a Kung Lee or somebody else that's pressured them to guess what? You get more money. Brandon, what do you think of this whole situation?
So I don't really again, I like what you said in the beginning. I don't get why it's a big deal if he is really serious about it or he's not serious about it. Either way, like I said, we're talking about it, which is what he wants, because more people talk about it, then you put more pressure on it. So I don't really matter if he really has good intentions about it or not. But to me, as though everything he says is true. It's not like he's lying about anything. It's not like he's making things up. Really, what he's saying is like, hey, come, even if it is about to help his brand. He always says, come fight me. I'll pay you more money, which is the truth. Tyron Willies came out and said like, yo, I made more money both times when I fought him than I did in the UFC. So again, he's trying to tell you guys, yo, your boss is making all this money, but he's not sharing the wealth. And he's trying to get on it. And the thing is, like, I don't get why, to me, people don't believe him. If it's because it's one of those things was like, yeah, he's coming, I guess, late into it, and it's like that's how usually causes get made. It's like you come late to a cause in your life, and you're like, oh, this is my new cause. Like this is what I'm about now. Like I want fighters to get paid. Like again, like you said, he has his own MVP promotions. He's been helping out Amanda Serrano. He helped her get that Kaylee Taylor fight because they were supposed to fight like a couple of years back, but somehow it fell through.
I still don't think it's official, but yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, they did a press conference and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly, man. So it's all set. Yeah, they did a press conference at the Madison Square Garden. It's all set. April 30th.
I just heard Holly Holm was trying to push for a Katie Taylor fight too.
Nah, so that's why I just don't understand why fighters are trying to come out. But like you said, to me, it's all those people are trying to put him down and trying to bash him. I think they're just trying to be company guys. But what we've seen time and time again, you can be a company guy for the UFC, but when the time comes when you really need them, they'll just throw you into the garbage. Like it's like you don't matter.
And I'll say another thing: it's kind of hypocritical for Paddy Pimblett to be that guy when A, he held out for a while before he came to the UFC. B, he's pulling a Sean O'Malley. He's made the comments. He won't fight higher ranked guys until he's paid like a higher ranked guy.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get mad at somebody trying to push for money and you're sitting there saying you won't fight a top 10 guy until you get paid like a top 10 guy? Paddy, what are you talking about? You're either in the game or you're not in the game. And the last note I'll throw on it, just a little bit funny side note. If you caught Brock Lesnar on Pat McAfee's show, he was like, how much were you paid for a UFC run? He's like, yeah, I got paid all right. I got paid a couple $1 million. Looking at it now, maybe I should have got paid a little bit more. I mean, shit, Brock Lesnar, he's getting paid more than that to do wrestling.
Hey, like that's the thing too, people understand. Like that's why that guy goes to the WWE. He gets paid more money there than he does in the UFC, and he does less in the WWE to get paid. So it's like, dude, it's like guys, like put two and two together. It's like, yo, everybody wants Brock Lesnar to be in the UFC, but it's like, yo, the money's not there. It's like if I'm gonna get paid more in WWE, it's less taxing on my body. I'm only there half the time anyway, and I'm gonna get like over $1 million. Why not take it?
And real quick before we hop into our picks today, this kind of got posted by Calf Kick Sports on one of their little meme things they do on Instagram. Tim Wheaton, he posted Brock Lesnar and Fedor, and you know how they were supposed to fight back in the day and never did because Fedor thought Dana White's negotiating tactics were kind of shady and just didn't want to be part of it. Question: I kind of made the statement and people kind of like balked at me. If they fought then, my opinion is that Fedor would have won easily. If they fight now, I think the opinion is that Brock would win easily. What do you think? Then and now.
Then I probably would have leaned towards Fedor because I would say he's the better martial artist. And then now, I feel like I maybe still would lean towards Fedor because I don't know. Has Brock really been training? Like
I don't know. I just think Brock's in some of the best shape of his life, and he's still a monster.
And it can still be a shape, but hey, man, if you haven't been in there, man, fighting. You get your cage rust, ring rust, whatever you want to call it. Been a long time, man, going through those motions. Fedor,
I just feel like he was mauling. Fedor didn't look very good against Tim Johnson. He got the knockout.
Hey, Tim Johnson went night though.
Yeah, he got the knockout, but I think Brock Lesnar would maul him. I don't think he'd stand and try to box him. I think he'd just maul him. Right. I don't know. It's a fun thing to talk about. Nobody knows. The fight will never happen. Put it under the dream match situations that we never got to see. All right, Brandon. Last week, I would have done pretty well. You would have done all right, but I did come off an 0-3 week before that. So time to get right this week. Your lead dog is about to make some picks. I'm 6-4-2. Brandon's 5-7. He's trying to get over 500. I'm trying to hold him down because that is the kind of good person I am. That said, Brandon, you ready to make some picks?
Yes, sir. Just make sure I got my picks all set for you. Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Bellator 275. We got the middleweight title on the line. Gegard Mousasi versus Austin Vanderford, a.k.a. Mr. Paige Van Zant. Not to be disrespectful, but, I mean, let's be real. That's how he's known. Who you got in that fight, and tell me why.
I got to go with the champ, man. I'm going with Gegard Mousasi, man. He has the experience. I'm saying, you're looking at his record, 48-7-2 to Austin Vanderford's only 10 fights. Gegard has been in there with the best, with some well-known names. I just see. I mean, like I said, I give credit to Austin Vanderford for saying he's been hot. He is undefeated. He does have talent, but I just think Gegard Mousasi is going to get that hand raised.
So Gegard Mousasi's only lost one fight since 2015, and that was a majority decision loss to Lovato. Since then, he's beat Machida, Lima, and he did struggle with Salter a little bit before finally putting him away in the third round. I'm going with Gegard because I think Austin Vanderford's going to try to come in there and try to be explosive. He's trying to get it out quick. He does go decisions most of his fights. He most recently in last May went to a decision against Fabian Edwards. But like you said, his level of competition is nowhere near what Mousasi fought. And Mousasi tends to kind of rise to the level when it's time. When it's time to get to like the big fights, Mousasi tends to show up when the spotlight's the brightest. I think Gegard Mousasi is going to win this one. I probably would say a decision. I don't think it's going to be anything fancy. I think he's going to do what it takes. Maybe wrapping him up, grapple him a little bit, hold him down for a while. I mean, Vanderford's okay on the ground, but he's not what Gegard Mousasi is. So that's my pick on that one. I agree with you. What were you about to say?
No, I was going to say, you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. That's a first. Anyway, co-main event, we got Leah McCourt versus Sinead Kavanaugh. Of course, Kavanaugh coming off that loss to Cyborg. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with Leah McCourt. Reason being is because she is who Bellator is really trying to build that division around. I think that's who down the road who they really want to see go up against Cyborg. Like I said, we know that Sinead actually just fought for the title in November. It didn't go her way, but she did come to fight though. She was trying to bring it to Cyborg. She got caught. That's what happens when you are throwing hands. You can't get caught. But I'm just going with Leah McCourt because I think really I think Sinead might have the advantage standing up, but I think Leah McCourt has the advantage on the ground, and I think that's where the fight's going to go. I think she's going to take her down, ground and pound, and maybe get a submission that way.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Leah McCourt definitely is the future. I do worry about the power of Sinead. She also she lost a split decision to Arlene Blencow too. So she's fought some of the tougher opponents than Leah's ever fought. But like you said, it could go to the ground. It could do a number of things. I think Leah has more tools. She's the younger fighter. And I think she's just probably going to be a little too much for Sinead. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sinead had like a puncher's chance. I wouldn't be surprised if she did win this one. But I'm picking McCourt. I think she's just got more going for her, going in the right direction. And you also never know how somebody responds after a vicious knockout. Man or woman, you just don't know. So true. I'll take McCourt in that one. On that card, also, you got some other more up-and-coming fighters. Brett Johnson's in action. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked he's on the prelims. I kind of thought he maybe would have been on the main card, but they got him on the prelims.
Is he like the main event of the prelims then?
I don't think so. On the Bellator website, I think he's like the third fight, like from the main event of the prelims.
Right now they have Sherdog has him as the 8th fight on the card. So I don't know if that's either the last prelim or the first main card fight. So we'll see. We'll see on Friday night when they come to take place. A lot of good up and coming fights. Gokum Sarakam's on that card.
Yeah, I'm looking for
Jornell Lugo.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I'm looking forward to seeing how Lugo fight goes.
And Magomed Shapirov's on that fight. He's 6-0 going against Jose Sanchez 10-1. So that's gonna be fun. Definitely check out Bellator this Friday night. Over in the UFC.
Actually, Friday afternoon. It's
Friday
live.
afternoon because it's in Ireland. You're right.
Yep.
It's in Ireland. Stop correcting me. I'm the host. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not that big of a dick. Only on TV and sometimes in person. Something like that. Anyway, over in the UFC, UFC Vegas 49, aka Fight Night 202. I don't know when we're gonna stop saying Vegas. Dan Bakley called me out on that the other day, and I was like, well, I'm still saying Vegas. If you Google it, Vegas comes up. Yep. Fight Night comes up. I don't even think they know at this point.
That's what the hashtags are every time on Twitter.
Yeah, when the fights are on the air, it sees like UFC Vegas 48, 49. I'm calling it till they stop, till the wheels fall off, till they go to a different city for a Fight Night card. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about Makhachev versus Bobby Green in the main event. Of course, it was supposed to be Beneil Dariush. He got hurt. Bobby Green stepped in. He just fought a couple weeks ago, had a big win. And this is going to be at a catchweight, Brandon. So they're going to do it at 160. Should be a fun fight. It's kind of a striker versus grappler matchup. Who you got in this one?
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm probably going to take the L on this fight, but I'm going with Bobby Green. I'm going to rock with Bobby Green. He's an OG. You know, he's going to go in there. He's going to go into the fight saying he really is somebody who's tough to finish. You know, he really doesn't get stopped. Like say, I mean, we probably think that Makhachev's probably going to take him down, going to try to ground and pound him, or probably try to get a submission, which could happen. But I'm just gonna rock with Bobby Green. You know, saying he is on a 2-fight win streak right now, so I'm going with Bobby Green.
I mean, I'm going Makhachev, but so here's the thing. Makhachev makes the mistake sometimes of trying to one-up his opponent at what his opponent does well. I've seen Makhachev try to stand and bang until eventually like the second round or third round, then he starts taking people down and controlling the fight. If you stand and put your chin out with Bobby Green, you're going to sleep. So I kind of worry that Makhachev is going to be too cocky for this fight and be like, Bobby Green's coming in on short notice. He just fought. I'm ready to go. I'm going to win this fight so easy, and then get caught and put to sleep. I'm picking Makhachev because of the grappling. I think Makhachev eventually, if he doesn't get put to sleep early, will dominate at least the last 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, because it's a main event. I don't think it's going – I've seen Bobby Green also fade, like come the third round. Like he could start getting tired. So definitely the championship rounds and third round, I think it's all day Makhachev. So Bobby Green has to get him out of there early. If he doesn't, especially since he just fought a couple weeks ago, if he doesn't, I think it's definitely easily Makhachev. But I'm picking Makhachev anyway. I think his wrestling, I think his grappling is too much for Bobby Green. And also, Bobby Green has this bad habit of leaving his hands down and trying to taunt people into stuff because he's so much quicker. Makhachev is pretty fast too, so that might be a mistake against Makhachev. So that's that. Co-main event, we got Misha Sakunov versus Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman was actually supposed to fight Vieira a couple weeks ago. I was actually going to pick him as the upset before my fight got canceled. But this fight, I'll go first this time. I'm picking Sakunov. I think it's a different matchup. I think Wellington Turman doesn't match up as well with him as he did with Vieira. So I'm picking Sakunov. I think Sakunov's also on a little bit of a hot streak. And I think that's going to be a better matchup for Sakunov than it is Turman. Who you got?
I, too, am picking Misha. It's Serkinov, but it's okay. You are the host. You can call him whatever you want. But I'm going with Serkinov.
He's the guy that always calls people by their first name because they can't pronounce the last. Leave me alone.
I know it was there. I say I'm gonna go with Serkinov. Like I said, I again like how I kind of said with the Mousasi Vanderford fight. I just think the experience is going to come into play. So I'm gonna go that Serkinov's going to find a way
have the same amount of fights
to get his hand raised. Well, what was going to say? I think he's had better competition. Better
15-7 versus 17-5. Yeah, I agree. I think, and how you got messed up saying the name. I think Misha's going to win this fight, and I think it's just a bad matchup for Turman. I think just like I told you a few weeks ago, I think Turman was a bad matchup for Vieira. I think the other way around in this fight. So we'll see who's right come Saturday night. We both got that one for Misha. Who is your fight to watch on Saturday?
Man, so you know me, king of the lady fights. I got 3.
You got a few choices, yeah.
I know, but the crazy thing is I'm actually not going to pick a ladies fight.
What?
Yep. Hey, because I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney.
You chose my fight.
Oh, all right, my bad. All right.
No, go ahead. I'll pick another one.
No. I'll let you take care of the McKinney. Then
you stole my fight. I gave you the rundown. It was on there.
I didn't see it. I must have missed it. All right, fine.
Go ahead. It's an exciting fight. Go ahead, talk about it. I'll pick another one.
I'll let you have Terrence McKinney.
I'm the host. I'm being gracious and letting you take Terrence McKinney. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, sweet. Yeah, I'm going to take Terrence McKinney. I do know that I believe he actually is the underdog in this fight, which I kind of don't know why. But, hey, man, I'd say I'm going with Terrence McKinney. Like I said, I think he wants to improve off his last fight. You know, we had the highlight reel. So, but I think he's somebody to look out for.
For the record, I was taking McKinney too. But I can see why he might be a slight underdog only because, man, Ferris looks so good his last couple fights. Like, he's knocked people out. And he's been kind of coming strong. So that's going to be a very, very fun fight. That's probably going to be fight of the night. I'm being honest. It's going to be fight of the night. Fine, then. I'll switch up to the ladies. My girl, Ginn Frey, the nuclear medicine major. She's going against Hannah Goldie. Two fighters that both can put it on you. Don't stop coming for entire 3 rounds. I think Hannah has the strength advantage. Ginn definitely has the striking advantage. And I think this is going to be a grappling versus striker thing that we've been kind of the theme of this show. I think Ginn Frey takes this one. I think she has more experience. Definitely the tougher competition. She's been up and down lately, but her last fight, she looked fantastic. I think Hannah Goldie was very, what is she, 6-0, and she's lost like 2 straight? Mm-hmm. Or she's lost 2 out of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, she won her last fight.
Yeah, she won her last fight.
Before that, though.
She was supposed to originally fight like Jessica Penny, and then that fight fell through, and then she's been kind of like on a roller coaster since then. I think Ginn Frey takes this one. I think her experience and just the nonstop, like Ginn Frey just keeps coming the whole fight. Like, she keeps coming, keeps striking. She doesn't quit. And I think it's going to overwhelm Hannah Goldie. I think Ginn Frey wins by decision on that one. Also on the card, you got the ladies in the main card. You got Kim versus Cachera. You got another ladies fight. You got Pascal versus Nunez. So some fun ladies fights. Petrosian versus Rodriguez. I know you love to talk about Petrosian. Alejandro Perez versus Jonathan Martinez. A lot of fun fights on UFC Saturday night in Las Vegas. Anything else stand out to you on that card before we take off tonight?
Nah, man. Like I said, just there are a good amount of lady fights on it, which is pretty good. Like usually like you kind of only sometimes get one, but this time on this card you're getting 3 of them. So that's a plus there.
How does Khabib feel about having that many lady fights on a Makhachev card? Khabib's gonna be in the corner.
Yeah, man. He's been hanging out at the Apex, man. He was there last Saturday.
Yeah, but I mean, Makhachev is his guy, so he'll be in his corner for this fight. And I'm pretty sure like he's undefeated with Khabib in his corner. I don't think Khabib has lost a fight he's coached. I think he's still undefeated coaching wise too. Won't see the ladies in Eagle FC.
He lost the Benson Henderson fight. Benson Henderson's last fight. He was coaching. He was in the Benson's opponent's corner.
Was he? Was he cornering or was he just there?
I believe he was in the corner. I thought he was in the corner.
I have to go back and look at that one. I'm not sure, but I'll take your word for it. But still, he has a pretty good record as a coach, just like he obviously did as a fighter. You won't see the ladies in Eagle FC, but you will see them on UFC this Saturday night. How's that for a zinger? That is the episode today. Of course, check out the Mechanic Collection over on Fighters First Shot. Support your boy, Brandon Cuttino. He will be back fighting sooner than later, we promise. Of course, he's got the legendary Bruce Lee shirt on right now. I was running around today, so I actually don't have a Fighters First shirt on for once, but I am wearing a pretty dope shirt. Anyway, go support the show, fightersfirst.shop. Always new stuff on there. We got our guy, Justin Rolfe, getting ready to step back in the ring, boxing heavyweight champion, New England heavyweight champion. He's stepping in, I believe, in New Hampshire on March 19th. We got a new walkout tee for him. Of course, the Shedrick Goodridge Chocolate Thunder collection, always working on new stuff for him. And I'm still working on stuff for Brandon, too. So don't be surprised if you see something pop up sooner than later as well. Always in the shop, always grinding. Fightersfirst.shop. Check it out. Any final thoughts today, Brandon?
Yeah, guys, Friday. So like I said, right, we got Bellator in the afternoon at 4:00. But hey, Friday night LFA is going to be happening in
Solomon Renfro.
Yeah, exactly. Solomon Renfro. Like you said, Mike, he did an interview with him actually last year. But hey, you guys just go watch it. Say, man, tune in, watch the Renfro show. Remember, you can watch it on UFC Fight Pass for LFA. It's gonna be in his hometown of Buffalo, New York. So he's definitely gonna try to show out for the crowd.
I mean, he always tries to put on a show nonstop. So Solomon Renfro definitely in action this week. And before I get out here, I do want to mention they also got one championship Full Circle. It's got the Ritter on there. It's got Song on there. So one championship Full Circles this weekend.
PFL's in the morning on Friday. So man, so you have combat the whole day on Friday. You got it in the morning for one. You got Bellator in the afternoon. And you got LFA at night. And
then PFL got their number 2, their second of the Challenger Series they're doing. People will get a chance to get into the PFL and into the season by doing that. So it's kind of like Dana White's Contender Series, but for the PFL. So they had a really exciting series, Challenge 1. Here's the second one's coming up this weekend. I believe they're doing it in Orlando. So check that out. Lots of action in your town. Check it out everywhere. This is Art of MMA. I'm sorry you get stuck with like the second best looking team in MMA or on Fighters First Network. I don't know. How did Tim say it? You and him, Brandon and Tim evidently are the best looking team in Fighters First Network. I'm just chopped liver. I admit that. But just remember who signs the paychecks. And I'll pull my Dana White card anytime I feel like it, because that's what Dana would do. And I would do it too, because I'm supposed to be the bad guy. He's supposed to be the good guy. This is Art of MMA, and we're out.